Hello. Today we are going to be talking about classroom management, and the title of the series is Your Classroom Managed? First up, we will be doing a 3-minute quick write. In this quick write, the materials that you will need: a pen and pencil, timer, which I will have, and you need to get a slip of paper from the desk when you walked in. The rules: you have 3 minutes to write your definition of classroom management and 2 things that you do as part of classroom management strategies. So 3 minutes total. You have to write your personal definition of classroom management and 2 things that you are currently doing in your classroom as part of classroom management strategies. I will set my timer for 3 minutes and go. You may begin. 3 minutes. So, of course, if I were to be doing this professional development with members of my team, I will be walking around, checking, looking to see what others are writing, and just taking a mental note of where people are in their definitions of classroom management. I would also like to note of the different strategies that they say that they are using in the classroom, because when I would do evaluations, these are things that I would be looking for. Okay, you have 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. You have 2 minutes left. Remember, you're telling me your personal definition of classroom management, as well as your strategies, 2 strategies that you are currently using right now in your classroom. One minute, 20 seconds. One minute. $45 seconds. $30 seconds. $10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and stop. Okay, you should have written your personal definition of classroom management, as well as the 2 things that you are currently doing in your classroom that you consider as classroom management strategies. Now, we are going to take 1 minute to do an elbow discussion. So that means you're going to partner up with your partner at your elbow, and you are going to be reading them, and you will read to them your personal definition, as well as the 2 things that you are currently doing as part of your classroom management strategies. So go ahead, and the timer is set to 1 minute. You may begin. Make sure you're sharing your ideas. Both partners will talk. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and stop what you're doing. Okay, good job. You should have shared your definition and your 2 strategies. Today's objective, we will discuss strategies on how to effectively manage our classrooms. And that word effective is very, very important. If we are not doing what we're effectively, then our students are going to lack in instruction. They're going to increase the behavior problems. So we want to decrease behavior and increase instruction. Effective versus ineffective. The vast majority of the behavior problems in the classroom are caused by the failure of students to follow procedures and to follow routines, which in turn are caused by teachers who do not have procedures and routines in place. Effective teachers manage their classroom with procedures and routines, while ineffective teachers discipline their classroom with threats and punishments. So there's 2 different. Effective, we see procedures and routines, and then ineffective teachers who all they do is threaten and have punishments for their students, for their classrooms. We are going to look at the 4 characteristics of a well-managed classroom. So we want to know well-managed characteristics. 1. High level of student involvement. An ineffective teacher, the teacher is doing all the work. And an effective teacher, the students are doing all the work because they know what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to do it. 2 characteristic. Clear student expectations. The ineffective teacher, y'all are going to know everything that's going to be in chapter 3. An effective teacher, you have the objective of the lesson as well as the objective over the test that they will be taking as well. So that's posted. We should have them posted on the boards. You should have them posted in your lesson plans. Students should know where the objective is. Students should be able to read the objective. 3. Little wasted time, confusion, or disruption. So the teacher punishes, in an ineffective teacher, the teacher punishes according to the mood, and then the students always ask, Miss Parker, what am I supposed to be doing? That's ineffective. The effective teacher, you have a discipline plan, and you have posted the assignment so the students know, again, what they're supposed to be doing and how they are supposed to do it. And then last, we have work-oriented. In an ineffective classroom, the teacher tells but does not practice the procedures. You should be doing this. You should be doing this. You should be doing this. The teacher yells and flicks the light off. Turning the lights on and off to get the classroom quiet. Ineffective. With an effective teacher, the teacher practices procedures until they become routines. And that means that they are known to the students and they know what they are supposed to do what they are supposed to be doing, and how they are supposed to do it. And the students know how to bring the class to attention. So an example of an attention getter, give me 5. Once they have that signal, they know we need to have our eyes and ears on our teacher or whoever is speaking. Another example of a procedure that we can do is standing at our doors. When you stand at the door, you're greeting them with a smile and you're directing them to what they're supposed to be doing and how they are supposed to do it. I think y'all are going to know exactly what I'm supposed to say because you know what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it. Direct the students to where they sit. They have their assignment and they know that they need to get started immediately. This is an efficient and competent classroom strategy, and the teachers are managing effectively. Some procedures that must be taught. You should teach your discipline, you should teach your procedures, and you should teach your routines. These 3 things must be taught to students. You can't expect them to know anything. You have to teach them. Discipline versus procedures. They're separate. When you think about discipline, that is how your students behave. When you think about procedures, that is how things are going to be done. So the process. Discipline, with discipline you have penalties and then you have rewards. So the consequences, and then you have the positives. With procedures, you have no penalties and no rewards. With the routine, it's what the students do automatically, out of habit, every day. Once those procedures have been taught, it then becomes a routine. And then students, when they have those procedures, it simplifies their task in succeeding in school, and they know that their environment is predictable as well as a consistent environment. So we have to think about procedures that must become routines. One procedure that must be routine is the beginning of class. The second one is quieting the class. Third, seeking help when the students need help. Fourth, how students move around in the classroom and how you pass out papers. And then fifth, the end of class. So when you think about the beginning of class, this may be a spiral review sheet. This could be a bell ringer. This could be a DOL. I've seen in a second grade classroom, I've seen them complete a YouTube video with their sight words that pop up, and they have to sing along with the words as they go along. Again, it's something that's keeping the kids engaged. They know exactly what they do when they sit down, what they're supposed to do. Quieting the class, again, that was an example of raising your hand, counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Even the saying 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. In the class response, 1, 2, eyes on you. Same thing for seeking help. How will the students know how they can answer questions? What are they going to show you? I've seen in classrooms where they have red and green slips at their table. And red, of course, stop, I'm having trouble. Or green, you're good to go, keep moving. Movement of students and papers. How do you pass out papers? How do students move around in the classroom? Are they just up, walking for no reason? Or are they moving with purpose? And then the same thing as the beginning of class, what are you doing with the end of class? Where's your exit ticket? How are they lining up? What do they do with the pencils if they are staying in the classroom? Papers if they're staying in the classroom? Their backpacks? Things of that. Everything must have a procedure or eventually turns into a routine. Now, we think about the procedure for teaching those procedures. So we need to explain it, tell them what it is, explain it again, model, and then demonstrate. Okay? So when we model, I can model, and then we demonstrate the procedure again as a whole group. So you need to rehearse, and if they don't get it right, you keep doing it until it is done correctly. So if they're talking while they're supposed to be lining up, nope, sit down, we're going to line up again until everyone is not talking. If they're not facing the front when they line up, okay, we're going to sit down and we're going to make sure when we line up, they're going to be facing the front. So everything must be rehearsed in practice. Reinforce, retaught, rehearse, practice, reinforce, over and over and over until they get it. And when they get it, hey, good job, y'all. Thank you for doing what you were supposed to do. And then we move on to the next thing. And if they mess it up, stop. And then we need to practice it again. Because if you go on teaching them the wrong way, or you let it slip one day, it's all out the door and then you have to start all over again. So it's best to make sure that you take your time and teach it up front.